This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Scott Howell.
Hello, good neighbors, and welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast, brought to you by the Friends and Neighbors Group of the Greater Chattanooga area. My name is Scott Howell, and I'm your host for today. The purpose of the Good Neighbor Podcast, a lot of people want to know, what's this all about? What does this mean, the Good Neighbor Podcast? Well, it's basically designed to bring awareness to the residents living in our communities regarding the locally owned and or operated businesses in the Chattanooga region, as I like to say, all the way from Cleveland to Dalton, from Jasper to Benton. Small businesses are the backbone of our communities, and they really need our support. And joining me today is our good neighbor, Bethany McCoy at the TNFLYCO Company, and we are happy to have you. And also, she's also here today to talk to us about another business they have called the Hiwassee Gun Shop, right?
That's right, Scott. Thank you.
All that in one breath. Actually, it was three.
Good job. Good job.
It was three breaths, but we're not going to discuss that. Well, we're happy to have you with us today, Bethany.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for asking us to be a part of this.
Well, it's our pleasure to have you. And that Bethany, before we dive into talking about the TNFLYCO Company, I thought I'd take a moment and let you maybe tell a little bit about yourself and your family, if that's okay.
Absolutely. So I actually joined this business about 3 years ago after spending a career between corporate healthcare and higher education. Drastic switch, definitely. But my dad and my brother had gotten into the fly fishing realm, the sport fishing world in 2016, 2017 on the business side of things. And it initially started with a store called Hiwassee Angler. And then the opportunity presented after some shifts in the market to change that to actually acquire the brand TNFLYCO or Tennessee Fly Company, which was primarily an online soft goods, hats, t-shirts, that sort of thing business, and actually make it a fly shop. So it was one of the things that they noticed that in this area, there's some great fly shops in Chattanooga. There's some great fly shops up north around the Knoxville area, the Telco area. But right by the Hiwassee, we were missing a full fly shop where you could get all of your fly tying materials and gear. And so they decided to transition Hiwassee Angler into TNFLYCO and utilize the location in Charleston that Hiwassee Angler was already located at to create what we kind of have today with TNFLYCO. And then the opportunity also came about in the middle of all of this to purchase a gun shop that very well established. Also, it was a family-owned firearms store called Fugate Firearms. And so that was done, and it was transitioned to Hiwassee Firearms. And so those are the two companies and two local retail shops that have been going for the past, really, it's been about 6 years or so.
Oh, wow. Okay. Mm-hmm. Time flies when you're having fun, don't it, Bethany?
It flies.
Whether you're having fun or not.
Jury's still out.
The jury's still out on that, she said. Oh, my goodness. Well, we're going to have fun here today. We're going to talk about something enjoyable. That's fishing, right?
That's right.
Fishing and hunting. So, being that the Hiwassee is close by, is there a lot of fishing, fly fishing, that goes on in that area?
It does. And I think that surprises people a lot. I think that's one thing that I wish people knew more about our business is how many people in this area fly fish, particularly at the Hiwassee. And so it's great. And we've been seeing so many new faces in the fly shop over the past few months. And so I really do think the word is getting out there more that, hey, you know what? There's some great fly fishing that you can do on the Hiwassee River. And that's that's on the wading side of things, as well as utilizing a drift boat. Now, granted, it does depend on the generation schedules, so you do have to watch the water level, and that's something we try to educate our customers about, is how you do that, how you watch the generation schedule, when is it safe to wade, when is it not. But it's great to get out there and just be right in the middle of the Hiwassee, and it's just such a beautiful setting.
So do you fly fish yourself, Bethany?
So I have actually grown up spin fishing. And I love spin fishing. And so fly fishing is very new to me. So over the past 3 years, I've been learning more and more about how to improve my skill, but also just about the sport in general. And it's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating.
I have to admit, I grew up spin fishing too. So I've never actually fly fished myself. So when I watch, on TV or something, I think, man, that looks complicated.
I know. And there's so many different kinds of fly fishing too. And so I think what we're used to seeing, people are used to seeing like a river runs through it and things like that. So they're thinking, the big casts in the water, which you can do those around here. But there's a lot of individuals within our area that actually do what's called Euro nymphing. Okay. And it's just a different style of fly fishing. It works well within this area with the low hanging trees. It kind of helps prevent from getting your line and stuff caught in the trees. But I mean, if you go out to like the Chick or different places like that, then you're going to want to do those big wide open casts. So it really just depends on where you're at and what you're fishing for, to depend on what exactly, what technique you're going to use for that day.
That's what I was thinking a while ago. I was thinking, well, where I grew up, if we'd have tried that big wide casting stuff, we would have never got anything done. We'd been spending all our time getting out of the trees.
Oh my goodness! The first time that one of my coworkers took me out to help teach me, I was also doing some video recording and everything. We went to TNFLYCO. We went up into the mountains, and I cannot tell you how many times I lost my flies into the tree. I said, "Well, I'm making a Christmas tree. That's all it is. I'm just."
I love it. Making a Christmas tree. Oh, that would have been. I would have been helping you if I'd been there with you. I tell you, you told us about the business and your family's journey about how you got into this and all, and I think that's great. I love the outdoors. I have to admit, I don't fish as much as I did when I was younger.
Yeah,
I miss it sometimes. I get thinking, man, I need to go back to fishing again, but. And I've never been a big hunter. I tried deer hunting a few times. Yeah. But it was cold. You know what I mean? Yeah. I like my heater.
They've got like those hot hand warmers and things like that.
I you can back use. Then though. I mean, this is before microwave ovens, Bethany. Believe it or not, I've been around
yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the things that we try to focus on with Hiwassee Firearms is education. Yeah. Education's really important to us, and I won't get into the political sides of all the different types of constitutional carry and concealed carry and that sort of thing. But at the end of the day, for us, education is of the utmost importance. Sure, and so we have classes that people can sign up for. Safety classes, education classes to help you understand what your rights are. What does reciprocity look like, right? So we know what concealed carry means within the state of Tennessee, but what does reciprocity look like? And that's something that, maybe isn't as well understood. And so we offer classes that will help people understand all of those different aspects of what it means to be an owner and to have that responsibility as a gun owner. And then we also have a range. People can purchase a range membership. It's an indoor range, and really? So we have that available.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have that available for individuals, and then we do trades. We work with individuals. Maybe we've had a lot of families who someone's passed away, and there's an inheritance piece of it, and they're
Yeah.
like, we just aren't really sure how to navigate this, and
Right.
so we have some great team members that will say, hey, we'll help you navigate it. And so it really is just about being there for the community and our neighbors through education, through, just that commitment to helping everyone understand what it means to have a firearms store and the responsibility that comes along with it.
Yeah. And you said reciprocity. Say that word again. I'm having a hard time getting out of my mouth.
Reciprocity.
Thank you. Just in case, that's a tangled up word. You have to practice to say that one.
Yeah, say it 5 times fast. No.
Right. No. I wouldn't be able to finish this podcast. But for people that might not know the meaning of that word, just kind of explain what that is.
Yeah, I think the high level, I'm not even going to go into a definition, just a high level understanding of it is that while we have certain laws in the state of Tennessee, and other states have other laws as well. Right. Some laws go back and forth amongst state lines, and other laws do not. So really having a strong understanding of what laws go across all the state law lines and what is kind of unique, not necessarily unique, but very specific within Tennessee. So again, it's just helping people understand, so you don't go on vacation with your family and find yourself in a situation you don't want to be in, and just understanding exactly what your rights are, what it means and what it looks like. And again, just education, knowledge is power, understanding all the different components. That's on the fly fishing side, as well as on the hunting and firearms and all of the safety side of things. It goes across the board. Education is just so important, and it's a big part of what we are trying to do more of on the fly fishing side of things, but also what we really strive to be a priority within the firearms store.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned that about the not everything not being equal. Thank you for explaining what that word means. I've had the opportunity to live in a couple of different states. Well, actually a few different states. And I found that the laws are in some states very unequal from other states. And if you travel from one state to another. There was one particular state, if you had your gun in the vehicle with you, it better be in the trunk.
Right.
Whereas other states, you can have it, in inside the vehicle, but so it's very important if you want to get pulled over and searched, that you have the gun in the right place,
Right.
So you're exactly right. So the education that y'all are providing is much needed, and I can say it for myself, very much appreciated. Whether it be on the firearm side or the fly fishing side, what are some common misconceptions that y'all hear when people come in and have questions that maybe they're confused about myths and misconceptions regarding those particular aspects?
Yeah. Well, I think we just kind of discussed it on the firearm side of things, right? So just not having full knowledge of the differences in states and requirements and that sort of thing. On the fly fishing side of it, I think that a lot of times there's a misconception that fly fishing is very expensive and you have to have certain brands or certain gear or certain, there's just very specific boxes you have to check in order to enter into that sport. And it's just not true. Fly fishing is for everyone, from, the young to, going out with their grandparents or great grandparents to fish together. And when in regards to gear, there's so many affordable options in regards to gear and high quality, affordable options. And one of the things that it probably makes our shop a little bit different is that we try really hard to promote a lot of those brands that are really wonderful brands that have high quality products, but don't cost as much as others. They're more affordable, right? Yeah. And now, granted, there are some that you're like, no, this is just top. This is the top quality brand. Like, we want to make sure that we have it, but there are options, and we just want to make sure everyone understands, like, here's your options across the board, and what works for your friend may not be what works for you. And we need to make sure we put you in a best fit situation, and anybody can do it. Anybody can be a part of it.
Yeah. So basically what you're saying is, if you want to be a part of fly fishing, if you want to make that part of your what you enjoy doing, that it's pretty much affordable on most any budget. That's pretty much what you're saying.
Yeah, we can. Yes, you can make it. You can make it fit on any budget, and we try really hard to make sure we understand. Okay, what is it that you are wanting to do? What's your goal? What's your budget? And then trying to work within it to make sure that we create, that opportunity for everyone to be able to go out and find outdoor adventure, because ultimately, that can bring a lot of people peace, and it can also just bring individuals together in a pretty chaotic world that we live in.
Yeah. I'm so glad to hear that y'all have an indoor shooting range. I have long wished that this area had one, and if there's another one, I just don't know about it. But I have long wished that there was a place that had indoor shooting range. I hear of a lot of outdoor shooting ranges.
Yeah.
But I just like being in that controlled environment with a pistol.
Right.
With a rifle or something, it's fine, be it indoor, outdoor. But I love with a pistol being in that, enclosed environment where I don't know, it's just easier to concentrate, you might say.
Right. Now, we don't claim to be anything fancy, but
we don't have to be anything fancy.
but we're glad to offer that to the community and to
Absolutely.
Individuals. So.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be fancy, just somewhere that somebody can get out of the rain, if nothing else, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, well, listen, if there was, I always like to ask this question of everybody before we, end the podcast. If there was one thing that you wish, and I'm just going to say, just take your time and answer this about both sides of the business. But if there was one thing that you wish that our listeners knew about your company, but they probably wouldn't know it unless you told them, and you'd like to shout it from the rooftop, what would that be?
Oh, goodness.
Maybe it's the atmosphere, maybe it's the attitude of your company, whatever it might be, or your products, or just anything.
Oh, I think I've hit on so many of them. I think ultimately, and I would hope that they would know this from the moment that they walked in. It's just that, we're really just there to help. And we are there to get you into the sport that you wish to be a part of, whether that's hunting, whether that's fishing. And we really want to see you succeed and find something that you enjoy. And I would hope that they would get that from the moment they stepped in the door. I would hope that there's not much that they don't know about us just by their experience. But again, we really do care. And we consider you to be a part of, our family when you step through those doors, because when you support these small businesses, you're supporting a lot of families and a lot of local families. And, we appreciate that. And all of us within the small business world right now definitely need that support.
Absolutely. Well, that was a great answer to that question, Bethany, because that's what I'm always hoping people will reach to, is not just about the company itself, but the heart of the company. when I asked
Absolutely.
that last question, that's what I really want people to talk about, that is the heart of the company. And since we're talking about locally owned businesses, that's what we're looking for, is that heart. You know,
Yeah.
who are you down inside?
Yeah.
When it gets right down to the old saying, the marrow of the bone, you know,
Yeah.
who is your company? So
We want you to make those memories just like our families made the memories, right? Like I can tell you when I got my very first fishing pole at 2 years old, you know, I want your family to be able to have those memories. And I think my brother does, and my father does, and my mom, my sister, we all want you to have those memories.
All of you work there?
Not all of us, but most of us.
Okay. I was going to say, wow, that really is a family ordeal. Well, Bethany, I want to give you just a moment to tell about how people can reach out, how they can find you, whether online or offline.
Yeah, absolutely. So the best way to get in touch with us is to go online to HiwasseeFirearms.com. So that's HiwasseeFirearms.com, or to TNFLYCO.com. That's TNFLYCO.com. That's going to be the best way online. We, with FLYCO, we have a very active Instagram and Facebook as well, where we try to stay engaged within our customers. So that's another great way to connect. And as always, you can call us at either of our shops as well, and so that's another great way to connect with us. And if you were to reach out to the firearms store, you would contact us at 423-336-2675. So that's going to be for the firearms. And for the TNFLYCO, you can call us at 423-813-3714.
Okay. And did you mention your physical address if somebody just wanted to stop by?
I did not, but if you wanted to just stop by TNFLYCO, we're located at 9051 Hiwassee Street. That's in Charleston, Tennessee. So that's 9051 Hiwassee Street. And if you want to come to Hiwassee Firearms, we are literally just right up the road. So stay on what we call Hiwassee Street in Charleston, and it becomes 5085 US 11, and that's just across the bridge in Calhoun, and that's our Hiwassee Firearms address.
Okay. All right. That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing all that with us. Just in case anybody that's new to the Chattanooga region and hasn't ventured far enough north to know where in the world of Charleston is, it's just right off 75, Interstate 75, just north of Cleveland.
That's right.
If anybody hadn't ventured out that far north yet since you've been here, that's where it's at. And also, people might wonder why that you mentioned your Facebook and Instagram for the FLYCO, but not for the firearms. I just want to share a tidbit of information with y'all. Facebook does not allow the advertisement of firearms on their platform.
Yeah, we do have a Facebook. It's obviously it's not very active. So
yeah. So that Facebook's very restrictive in that regard. So, but if you got any questions, I know they'd be glad for you to call.
Absolutely.
Stop by either one and check them out. Yeah. And so, and you know, Bethany, thank you so much for taking time out of your day and being with us and sharing with us your family business and the heart of the business and the education, not just the products, but the education as well. And we appreciate you being with us so much. It's been a pleasure getting to know you.
You too. Have a wonderful day.
You too. And all the good neighbors of the greater Chattanooga region, after meeting Bethany and learning more about Tennessee FLYCO and Hiwassee Firearms, I know that she and her family, it's a family-owned business, so she and her family would appreciate so much if you take a moment to consider all they have to offer and remember them. You know, when you need or want those fishing accessories, fly fishing accessories, or you know your firearm needs and wants. You know, what she said a while ago is very important. I always say this before ending an episode anyway, you know, about how important it is to support the local businesses. You can buy a lot of these products in a lot of different places. There's probably big superstores that are available that have products that you could go see. But when you support a small local business, you're supporting somebody that is supporting the community. Many times, large companies are sending their profits out of our state, out of the city, out of the area. But these local businesses, they live here, they shop here, they eat here. So they're also supporting other local people like ourselves. And so just wanted to say that. And, before ending this episode, I definitely wouldn't want to leave without thanking, you, the listeners, for taking time out of your busy day and visiting with us at the Good Neighbor Podcast. And once again, as I always say, always remember to support these locally owned and operated businesses in the greater Chattanooga area, from Cleveland to Dalton, from Jasper to Benton. You're all important. And this is Scott Howell with the Friends and Neighbors Group. Everyone go out and make this a remarkable day.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpcleveland.com. That's gnpcleveland.com or call 423-380-1984.